Last week, former President Donald Trump praised Vladimir Putin, calling him savvy and a genius. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo also complimented Putin. Both men's words are now being used on state-run Russian TV, falsely showing support for a Russian invasion. And then on Saturday, a white nationalist group praised Putin, prompting Republican Liz Cheney to tweet the following quote: "As Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and Representative Paul Gosar speak at this white supremacist, anti-Semitic, pro-Putin event, silence by Republican Party leaders is deafening and enabling. All Americans should renounce this garbage and reject the Putin wing of the GOP now," end quote. Well, here to talk about this is former Texas GOP Chairman James Dickey. James, thanks for being here. And first question, is there a Republican wing of the GOP that supports Putin?
There is a very small percentage of all America that does support Putin. In fact, in a recent poll done by Harvard University and Harris Media, they said that only 19% of Republicans said that Russian grievances about NATO expansion justified invading Ukraine, but 38% of Democrats said so. So I think, unfortunately, what we have there is Representative Cheney once again using division within her own party and trying to highlight division within her own party to raise her profile. There is plenty of extreme folks who need to be called out on both sides around, but in both parties they're small, and in the Republican Party it's actually smaller than the Democrat.
Okay. I mean, would you say there's a Putin wing of the GOP, be it very small?
No, I mean, the polling says 19% of GOP voters even say this invasion is justified. 64% of voters in the same poll said that it's Biden being too soft on Putin. Only 40% said that Trump would have been, is as easy on Putin as Biden is. And over 60% of voters polled last week said that had Trump been president, Putin would not have invaded. And that's really the tragic thing, that we currently have a president seen so weak.
Right. Well, let's talk about Trump made some comments, you know, calling Putin savvy and a genius and smart. Was that a mistake, or what do you make of that?
I didn't see the context, so I don't know what it is. What I think is more relevant is a reporter asked him Saturday night, I believe, you know, would he be as brave as what we're seeing from the Ukrainian president right now? And to his credit, he said, you just never know. That this guy is, you know, in the heat of battle, you don't know whether you'll step up. The bravery is a challenging thing. And that, yes, the Ukrainian president has shown amazing bravery. And it took a lot of humility and a lot of credit to him for saying that. That took more bravery and more credibility from former President Trump than much of the other things we've seen.
Okay, we got to wrap it up for here. James Dickey, as always, thank you very much.
My pleasure.